Sudraka's Mrichchhakatika. Sudraka's Mrichchhakatika is a text that has come to us from the classical Sanskrit tradition of Indian writings. The text is regarded as a prakaran, having all the characteristic features of prakaran. Classical Sanskrit drama usually begins with a benediction, a formal salutation to the gods. So Act 1 begins with benediction. In the benediction scene, usually the performers come on the stage, the Sudraka, and then an offering is made. Nati is also there on the stage performing the dance, and usually it is a song composition through which the benediction is offered. The Sanskrit sloka has been translated in English. May Shiva's profound meditation, which is concentrated on Brahman in consequence of the absorption effected by abstract vision, protect you. So this address is made to the audience directly. The meditation of Shiva, whose knees are wrapped round with the coils of the snake, doubly folded as a sort of ligature, while he sits in the Paryanka posture. So that is a particular posture that we find in the Chidambaram temple of Lord Shiva, the Nataraja posture. So as he sits in the Paryanka posture, whose senses are suspended owing to all knowledge of external things. So in this posture of meditation, his eyes are shut up by the suppressions of the internal vital ears, and who with his eyes of truth visualizes within himself his own self, which is destitute of all kinds of organs. And again, may the neck of Nilakanta, Nilakanta refers to Lord Shiva, may the neck of Nilakanta protect you, the neck that resembles a dark cloud and whereon shines the creeper-like arm of Parvati, like the streak of lighting. So this is a formal offering, a kind of invocation to the god of theatre, Lord Shiva. Ganesha and Lord Shiva, they are considered as the patron gods of theatre in Indian dramaturgy tradition. And usually, as far as literature is concerned, the epics are concerned, the benediction is offered to Lord Ganesha. And whenever there is theatre, such a benediction is offered to Lord Shiva. After this formal benediction, the Sutradhar or the stage manager comes on the stage to deliver the prologue. This is also called the prologue or the prelude, introductory lines of the manager. The manager, in a mirthful manner, will be presenting the play, and this entire prelude will contain important information regarding the play. So the prologue serves as an exposition in classical Sanskrit drama. Okay, the prologue serves as an exposition to classical Sanskrit drama. Here the manager says, enough of fastidious tasks that stifles the curiosity of the audience. Saluting therefore these honorable gentlemen, I humbly submit to them that we are preparing exactly to enact the drama known as Mrichchhakatika. Its author was Sudraka, who was a celebrated poet of profound wisdom, who was the best of twice born Kshatriya, whose gait was like that of the lord of elephants, whose eyes resembled those of the Chakora bird, whose countenance was like the full moon, and who was possessed of a stately person. So here in this opening statement, we have two important information related to the text. One, that in front of the audience, Sutradhar or the manager is introducing a play named Mrichchhakatika. The second information is related to the authorship of the text. And the Sutradhar, the manager, clearly states that the author of this play is Sudraka. Whatever we know about Sudraka is actually derived from this prologue or the prelude of Mrichchhakatika. Sudraka is described as a celebrated poet of profound wisdom, twice born, and whose movement resembles the gait of the Lord of Elephants and the eyes of the Chakora bird. So his countenance was like the full moon and possessed of a stately person. And again, the Sutradhar continues describing Sudraka. Sudraka knew the Rig and the Samavedas, the mathematical sciences, fine arts, and the management of elephants, and obtained through the grace of Shiva eyes that were freed from darkness, that is ignorance. Poet is celebrated in this line as a learned person. Two Vedas are mentioned here, the Rig Veda and the Samaveda. So we can assume that these Vedas were composed much before Sudraka took to the writing of Mrichchhakatika. Mathematical sciences, these were also developed during the Vedic ages. Fine arts and the management of elephants. Fine arts refers to different types of kala. In the text also we will find these fine arts presented mainly through Vasantasena, the character. So Sudraka, who was a learned person, who knew Rig and Samaveda, mathematical science, fine arts, and the management of elephants, and obtained through the grace of God eyes that were freed from darkness. That means he had the wisdom and knowledge under the aegis blessings of Lord Shiva. Having beheld his son enthroned as a king after abdicating his power and giving his son the throne of the city Ujjain, he performed a grand and glorious Ashwamedha Yajna or sacrifice. And after having attained the age of 100 years and 10 days, he entered the sacred fire and died. So that was the long, glorious career of King Sudraka. At the end of his career, he performed this glorious, grand Ashwamedha Yajna. And after performing that Yajna, what he did? He gave his throne to his son and then left the world. Intently attached to warfare, void of sloth, eminent among those versed in the Vedas, rich in penance, and fond of fighting with his two arms the elephants of his foes, was such indeed King Sudraka. Usually the patron, the person who is supporting the art or theatre, as well as the author who has composed the work, they are appreciated in this opening prologue delivered by the Sutradhar. So it is a kind of introduction to the author as well as the patron. In case of Sudraka's Mrichchhakatika, we find that the king Sudraka himself, being the writer or the author of the text, the entire salutation is offered to this person, King Sudraka. Sudraka is described as heroic, all the qualities of a warrior king, and he was without any kind of sloth or laziness. He was very famous because of his learning, knowledge of the Vedas. He was a very honorable man and had done sacrifice. He was fond of fighting with his two arms. Such was his strength that even he could fight with the elephants of the enemies. This was King Sudraka, the author of the work. So after presenting this author of the work, we have now the presentation of the work itself. So there will be references, there will be some references to the setting as well as the characters. So this is called the exposition. Even in classical Greek plays, we find a similar kind of exposition. Even in classical Greek plays, we have this kind of exposition. And there in exposition, we have the presentation of, number one, the author. Number 2, the setting. Number 3, the character. Number 4, the plot. Number 5, the nature of the action, the dominance of rasas, the nature of imitation. So these are the 5 aspects where we have in the prologue a good representation. So after the introduction to the author of the work, King Sudraka, we have the representation of the city. So in the city of Avanti, there was one Charudatta. Avanti, there is an ancient name of Ujjaini. So there was one Charudatta who was a merchant by profession and Brahman by birth. See how this rigid caste system was not there, and the entire caste system, Varna system, was actually at that time of history related to vocation. So by birth a caste is there, but by profession another caste can be assumed. So there was kind of movement from one caste to another. So this type of mobility was there present in that society that was more permissive. Gradually after 2nd century AD, we find that how the caste system becomes more rigid and becomes the curse of Indian civilization. So this kind of rigid caste system was not there during the composition of Mrichchhakatika. Even religion was regarded not so conservative during that period, and there we have the coexistence of different religions in the play Mrichchhakatika. So caste system is not rigid, it is not based on graded inequality, although the caste system was there according to the birth. The Hindu caste system has been divided into 4 castes. The head of Brahma was related to the Brahman, the shoulders related to work was related to the Kshatriyas, the waist related to business was related to the Vaishyas, and the legs, the lower portion of the body, was related to the Shudra. This is the fourfold caste system or Chaturvarna. So at the time of birth, according to the family of the offspring, this kind of caste marker was made during that period. But during that period, vocational segregation was also done according to the profession of that person. So Charudatta is the central character of this play, the Neta of this play. He was born a Brahmin, but was a merchant by profession, and who, though young, was very poor. Okay, at this young age, he has become very poor. Then in the play, we also have a courtesan whose name was Vasantasena, and who was charming like the venereal beauty. She was of celestial beauty and was attached to him on account of his excellences. So this Vasantasena is also in love with Charudatta, and she is admiring Charudatta because of his goodness, excellences. So Neta in this play is a Dhira Shanta type of Neta, a kind of constant, consistent, noble personage, a good man. And because of his moral and ethical goodness, a court singer, court performer, court dancer, Vasantasena, has fallen in love with Charudatta. So in spite of his poverty, Vasantasena has fallen in love with Charudatta because of his excellences. King Sudraka composed this drama that is based upon the pure joys of the love. As because the central theme of this play revolves around the love of Charudatta for Vasantasena, the dominant rasa of this play will definitely be Singar rasa, that is related to Rati, the bhava, the stable emotion, Rati. And here we find the true joys of love, and which is exhibited, of course, the course through the working of the play, of statecraft, the foul administration of justice. These are the correlated themes of the play. So while the dominant rasa is love or Singar rasa, the joys of the love between Charudatta and Vasantasena, in this play we also have the themes related to statecraft. That is a major theme of the play again. We have that the king is becoming cruel and there is a revolution against the king. Arakya takes up that revolution against the king, and towards the end of the play we find that King Palaka is overthrown by Arakya. Then there is a foul administration of justice. This is again the central theme of the play, where we have crime, punishment and justice. Charudatta is accused of killing Vasantasena in the course of the play, and the eyes of the justice, being blind, believes on available evidences. Charudatta is sentenced to death. Just at the moment of execution, Vasantasena reappears, as because he has been accused of killing Vasantasena, because of the presence of Vasantasena as a living person, he is finally absolved of the charges brought against him. But there is this foul administration of justice, how the justice is perverted in the play, that is shown. There is also the wicked character in the play, the villain of the play. Although this villain, true to the spirit of Sanskrit drama, is reconciled at the end, he is pardoned at the end. But there are the ways of wickedness that are fully exhibited. And finally, we have the inevitableness of fate. So what are the central themes of the play? The Sudraka, not Mrichchhakatika, Sudraka's Mrichchhakatika presents interrelated themes. The most dominant theme is that of love, especially the love between Charudatta and Vasantasena. The second theme is related to the working of the state administration and the usurpation of a king by a new revolutionary hero. The third theme is the theme of justice. Justice is shown misguided. And fourth theme is related to the human wickedness. And finally, the fifth theme, a prominent theme of the play, is the inevitableness of fate. Whatever fate has written, that happens. In classical plays, usually we do not have a tragic ending. In classical Sanskrit play, we do not have any tragic ending. The wicked is also reconciled. The lovers who are separated, they are also reconciled. The bad ruler is punished, a new ruler comes. Justice that is perverted is resolved because of a new justice. And finally, we have the working of fate as prominent theme. In classical Greek drama, however, we have a separation between the tragedy and the comic. Tragic and the comic, these are separated as two different forms of theatrical representation. If we find these themes in Mrichchhakatika, that can belong both to tragedy as well as comedy. This type of coexistence of themes that are tragic and comic cannot be seen in classical Greek drama. Even in classical Roman drama, we have a separation between tragedy and comedy. In classical Sanskrit drama, however, especially Prakaran is an invention of poets' imagination. So with the power of imagination, he invents a plot, a kind of story is placed. And in this story, we have the intermixture of the tragic as well as comic. So it can be related as a natya, a depiction pertaining to emotion and sentiment of the three loka. So the Sudraka is there on the stage accompanied by a nati and walking about and looking around him. So now he will be talking about the stage properties. He will be communicating with the spectators and talking about the performance circumstances. Why? This concert hall is ours, of ours is empty. Where could all the actors have vanished? So he's reflecting, I understand. Desolate is the house of him who is childless. Desolate is the time to one who has no faithful friend. Desolate are the regions of the earth to a fool, but everything is desolate to the poor. So this emptiness, direct communication to the audience in order to draw their attention is presented in this way. Oh, I have finished the musical concert. Having been long engaged in music, my eyes with their moving people are owing to hunger, crackling like a lotus seed, dried up by the fierce rays of the summer sun. I will just call my wife. Actually, this wife is also the Nati. Shutrudhar in classical Sanskrit drama is accompanied by a Nati, okay, an actress. So here the actress is Shutrudhar's wife. Oh, I will just call my wife and ask if there is anything of breakfast or not. But oh, considering the business of making myself intelligible to her and also the exigence of the performance, I am to speak in Prakrit. So he is talking about Prakrit language. Prakrit is a form of language that was popular during that period. Common day-to-day language was Prakrit, while Sanskrit was used for the religious rites and was used in the courts of the kings. Prakrit was a language of ordinary conversation. Common people used Prakrit. So he is speaking in Prakrit. Alas, alas, on account of my hunger, on account of my being long engaged in music, my limbs are as weak as dried up lotus stalks. I shall hence go home and learn whether my wife has got anything ready or not. See how Hasya Rasa is introduced? So he is making fun. So he is hungry, he is tired. So walking about and looking around, searching for his wife, Nati. And now how the setting is changed? Here is our house. I will just go in. So entering and looking about, wonderful. What indeed can this strange preparation is our house possibly be? The street is full of long streams of rice water. The ground spotted black, whereon the iron kettles have been dragged, looks as lovely as a young damsel having a frontal mark on her face. Hunger pinches me now, much more, if as if enkindled by these savory smells. What can it be that any hoarded treasure of my ancestors has come to light? Or is it perhaps that I, being exceedingly hungry, fancy the whole world to be made up of rice? So everywhere he is looking, he is seeing that it is food everywhere, as because he is hungry. So this is a joke he is playing on the spectators in order to draw their attention. So we are gradually moving in the play from the ritual in the benediction, opening ritual scene, to a more formal introduction to the play, to the more casual introduction to the theater that is going to happen. Ah, there surely is not any breakfast in our house. I am dying of hunger, and yet the preparation is all usual. One girl grinds perfumes, another strings flowers. What does all this mean? Well, well, I shall call my good wife and learn the truth. Looking in the direction of the dressing room, Vardi lady, come hither, hither please, come here. So the actress enters, Nati enters. Here I am, sir. Lady, you are welcome. Now see, two characters are there on the stage. They will be playing on jokes and trying to present the play as if the play is improvisational play. And through their conversation, we will come to know about the contemporary situation, the performative circumstances, as well as a little bit about the play. One by one, the characters will also be introduced. So actor says, here I am, sir. Manager says, lady, you are very welcome. The actor says, let your honor command what business is to be accomplished. Worthy lady, on account of my hunger and on account of my being long engaged in music, etc., 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 is there anything to eat in our house? Actor says, there is everything, sir. What is there? What is there? For instance, there is rice boiled with sugar. Okay, the kheer that is made up of rice boiled with sugar, clarified butter, makhan, curded milk, dahi, rice. In fact, there is everything delicious that is worthy of being tasted by your honor. May the gods always be thus gracious to you. Is that all this in your house? Or are you joking? So the actress gives an aside. Aside means to the audience. The manager cannot hear that. I shall just jest with him. I will play with him. And then she speaks in loud voice. Indeed, sir, it is all in the marketplace. Man becomes angry. Oh, unworthy lady, may you be disappointed in this way. The deuce take you. Having been raised aloft, I have been thrown down like a scaffolding over a projecting wall of the heavy stone attached to the end of a beam. So after playing this joke on this man, the man gets irritated. Forgive me, sir, forgive me. It was only a joke. Hey, then why all this unusual preparation? One girl grinds perfumes, other weaves garlands, and the ground itself is adorned with offerings of flowers of 5 different colors. The actress says, today a fast is observed. Manager, what is the name of this fast? It is giver of a desirable husband. In this world, lady, or in the next? In the next world, sir. The man becomes angry again. Please look at this, gentleman. Please look at this. A husband is sought after for the next world at the sacrifice of my food. The actress pacify yourself, sir, pacify yourself. The fast is observed in order that you yourself might happen to be my husband in my next birth too. The manager asks, who suggested this fast to you? See how the characters are now being introduced one by one. So your own dear friend, Chunnavidda. Chunnavidda, son of a slave. Oh, that I could see you sometime or other, cut off by the angry King Palaka. King Palaka is the ruler of the land, like the perfumed tresses of a newly married girl. Pardon, sir, the fast concerns only the next birth of your honor. She falls in his feet. So this is all the funny games that the manager and the actress, they are playing on in order to excite the attention of the reader. This introduction has nothing to do with the play. Okay, it has a different story altogether. So this is improvisational opening that we usually find in Prakaran. Gradually the build-up is there. So it is like the trailer of the movie that we find nowadays. So it is a trailer of the play. And this trailer is presented by two clown-like characters, the manager, Chutrudhar, and the Nati, the actress. So get up, lady, tell me what is to be done to this fast. The actress says, a Brahman worthy of us as being of our own rank must be invited. You must go then, worthy lady, I shall myself invite a Brahman worthy of us as being of our own rank. The actress says, as your honor commands. Manager Shutrudhar walks around the stage. Good heavens, is this flourishing city of Ujjain? The entire setting has been converted into Ujjain. How am I to find out a Brahman worthy of us as being as of our own rank? Here comes in this direction itself Maitreya, the friend of Charudatta. So Maitreya and Charudatta, they are the characters of the play, Mrichchhakatika. Maitreya, the friend of Charudatta, very well. I will ask him. Sir Maitreya, kindly be the first to dine in our house today. So behind the scenes, sir, kindly invite some other Brahmins. I am particularly engaged now. The manager says, sir, the dinner is ready and there shall be no rival Besides, you shall be offered a dakshina into the bargain. So again from behind the scene, sir, your request has been unaccepted even at the beginning. What is then your importunity for urging me at every step? Shutrada says, my request has been unaccepted by him. Very well, very well. I shall invite some other Brahman. So a prelude ends here. Okay. The prelude ends here. Here ends the prelude. Act 1 is continuing. So in Act 1, we have the first benediction. The second, introduction to the play. Number 3, the introduction to the author. Number 4, the Sutradhar and Noti, they create the situation for the play. And gradually we find the beginning of the play. So this is the structure of opening act of Mrichchhakatika. So Mrichchhakatika's Act 1 can be separated into different parts. Number 1, benediction. Number 2, the introduction of the play. Number 3, introduction of the author. Number 4, the warming up session. Okay, improvisational session of the Sutradhar, the manager, and the actress. And number 5, the episode. The play will begin. So after the prologue, after the prelude, we find that Maitriya, a character of the play, enters. So Maitriya is a character who is first introduced in the play. Who is Maitriya? Maitriya is the friend accomplice of Charudatta. Charudatta had already been introduced in the opening section as a person who was born in a Brahmin family but took up trade and commerce, but he could not succeed in trade and commerce because of some laziness on his part, as well as because he has fallen in love with a courtesan, Vasantasena. And Vasantasena is also introduced as a courtesan who is expert in different various arts, and she has fallen in love with Charudatta in spite of his poverty. So Maitriya comes on the stage and Maitriya will be introducing himself. So this is the opening section of the play. So I will invite your observation regarding this and any kind of comment, questions regarding the opening section. So the first 4 parts of the act, opening act, is done. So what is the significance of this opening act? Number 1, like the Greek chorus, the classical plays in Sanskrit also began with a kind of choric presentation. The chorus is replaced by Sutradhar, and Sutradhar takes the center stage. The play begins with a formal benediction to Lord Shiva. Tribute is paid to Lord Shiva and his blessings are invited so as to make the play smoothly performed in front of the audience. Then a tribute is also made to the author of the composition. Here the author is King Sudraka. King Sudraka is described. After the brief exposition of the author of the play proceeds with improvisation, where we have the ice breaking session going on, warm up session going on. In classical dance and drama form, we have this sthapana. Okay, the entire stage is set. The players are gradually introduced, and this is the exposition to the act of play. This play is therefore more artificial. That also talks about how the play is being formed. Even before the audience can see the play enacted on the stage, there is a brief introduction about the play. And through this brief introduction given by the Sutradhar, important characters are introduced. At the center of this play, we have a Dhira Shanta character, the Neta, the hero of the play, Charudatta. After a brief description of Charudatta, another important character, the Naika. In this play, we have two Naikas. One who is the wife of Charudatta, whose name is Dhuta. The other who is the beloved lover of Charudatta, whose name is Vasantasena. So we have two Naikas in the play. One Naika belongs to the institution of marriage. The other Naika belongs to the institution of love. So both are brought together. At the center, we have Charudatta, the poor Brahmin merchant. The play gradually revolves around this play. In the introduction, we also have the exposition of the theme. The themes that are identified are related to the dominant rasas as well as the sthai bhavas. The dominant rasa of the play, all the prakarans have this dominant rasa, is that of Shringar rasa, that is related to love. And Shringar rasa is again closely associated with the theme of virtue in the play. And then this theme of virtue will also be related to heroism, where we have the heroic character of the central character, Charudatta, as well as of Arakya. Another theme is related to the statecraft, how the administration of the nation is going on. The setting is introduced. Avantika or Ujjaini city is introduced. This Ujjaini kingdom is ruled by King Palaka, and we will find in the play the rise of a rebel hero who is fighting against this king, King Palaka. And Arakya at the end of this story becomes the ruler of this land. So this theme of statecraft is also introduced. We have also several scenes in the play related to the contemporary situation. Contemporary social reality is well depicted in the play. One such theme is that of justice. In the trial scene that is at the center of the play, we have the verdict that goes against Charudatta. Charudatta is accused of killing Vasantasena by Sarvakara, and then this accusation of Samvakara is accepted by the judge, who gives the verdict of death penalty to Charudatta. Towards the end of the play, we find that Charudatta is taken for execution. But just before the moment of execution, he is rescued by Vasantasena, who appears in flesh and blood, claiming that she is not dead. Therefore, Charudatta at the end is rescued. So we have this theme of justice, and Samvakara, the entire play revolves around the malicious intention, the wickedness of a villain character. And this villain character also presents the grim realities of society. So that social picture is also present through this play. Therefore, in the opening act, part 1, we have 4 parts: benediction, introduction to the play, introduction to the author, and introduction about the character and theme. So after this, we have the beginning of the play with Maitriya. Any questions you have regarding this short introduction to the play? You can ask the question. So your home task will be to prepare a note on the importance of the exposition. Okay, comment or write a short note on the significance of the opening scene. Keep your answer within 200 words. Okay, as we proceed, keep on preparing these notes for your answer. Okay, for the exam, in semester exam. Any other questions you have?
Sir, we have to do this 2 pages.
Within 200 words. or 250 words?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Comment on the significance of the opening. Okay, or describe the opening scene, part 1 of Sudraka's Mrichchhakatika. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. So again we will meet
Thank you, sir.
next Wednesday at 2:30. See you then.